Emmett was born the 25th of July, 1941. And it was a very difficult birth. He was a breech baby, and they had to get him turned around and so forth and so on, which caused a whole lot of misery and pain. He was the happiest baby in the world. It looked like he said, "Free at last, I'm here, I'm free." And nothing fazed him. By that I mean you didn't have to hold him and rock him and pet him. If you gave him that bottle or made sure he was dry, you could put him in his bed and he would lie there and kick and coo and for hours. As he grew up, it was more like we were sisters and brothers almost.
He asked for 10 cents to get 10 cents worth of bubble gum. He put the money into her hand, just like that. And she jerked her hand back. So that was it.
He and I left the store together. We didn't have any conversation with Mrs. Bryant. We left together. She came out of the store and went to her car, which was parked on the north side of the store. And as she was going to her car, that's when Emmett whistled at her, the famous wolf whistle.
Yes, he whistled at Carolyn Bryant when she came out of the store.
No one knew that he was going to whistle. And when he whistled, it scared everybody in the bunch. And when he saw our reaction, he got scared.
This is Mose Wright. I am the uncle of Emmett Louis Till. Sunday morning, about 2:30, someone called at the door. And I said, "Who is it?" And he said, "This is Mr. Bryant. I want to talk with you and the boy." And when I opened the door, there was a man standing with a pistol in one hand and a flashlight in the other hand. And he asked me, did I have two boys there from Chicago? I told him I have. And he said, I want the boy that done all that talk.
So they came to my room first, and they had a pistol in one hand, a flashlight in the other, and they looked on me and Maurice, who's in bed with me, and they recognized that Maurice or myself, we weren't the one that they were looking for. So they passed on through the house to the third room where Emmett was in the bed with Simi.
So we marched on around through two rooms, and I found the boy in the third room in the bed with my baby boy.
I hear this noise in the bedroom, and I look up and I see this Roy Bryant. I knew him. And I saw the other tall, bald-headed man. They was hollering and fussing. They told me to lay back down and go to sleep. But I kept my eyes open and saw what was going on, that they was going to take Emmett. And at that point, I didn't know where they was going to take him. I said, well, maybe they're going to take him home.
They aroused him out of the bed, and I don't think he really knew what was going on. So he was answering their question, but he wasn't saying yes, sir, and no, sir. So they became irate about that. And they started cursing and swearing. And I think he wanted to put on his socks or something with his shoes. And it was a terrifying experience. He had no idea what was going on, really. Yeah, had no idea the kind of people that he was dealing with, he was faced with. He had no way of conceiving what the South was like, no kind of way.
In the room, my mom, she offered them money not to take the boy, and that's when Roy kind of hesitated. But Marlon wouldn't have nothing of it. He had made up his mind. He was the one with the gun. He had a .45 in his hand, and he was calling the shots. And he claimed that he was just going to take him up the road, and just whip him and turn him loose. And I'm laying there in the bed waiting for them to bring him back. Every car that I would hear coming down the road, I thought it was them bringing him back. But then when it began to get turned towards dawn, I knew they weren't going to bring him back.
The sheriff came and told me they had found the body at Phillip and wanted me to go and identify the body, which I did. And we found the body with didn't have on any clothes at all. The body was so badly damaged that we couldn't hardly just tell who he was, but he happened to have on a ring with his initials, and that cleared it up.
I was at home and Mo Wright called me and said they done found the body. And I want to go down there, then identify his body. And I carried him down there. And when I carried him down there, the smell was so bad till I got about 5 or 6 feet from the body. And Mo Wright went up there and pulled his ring off and said, "That's him." And then Mo Wright said his tongue been cut and pushed back in his mouth, and his private had been cut off.
When I heard that Emmett had been found and had been murdered, everybody just fell to pieces.